Okay, so as you can see, we're on the second page of that note document I had you move. And what we're going to do in the first half, where I'm talking about multiply, is we're going to review some of the things that I taught on Monday, plus teach you a new way that is just another tool that you could use instead. And then when we get down here to factor, that's where we're going to utilize those skills you just learned in doing the circle problems. Okay, so let's look at this first one. So you see here that on Monday I would have taught you that this is a binomial. So there's two terms in it, and another binomial. So it needs a square that's 2 by 2, right? And I would have taught you to draw your square, or not would have, I did teach you on Monday to draw your square, just like that. And you've got 2 lines going down and 2 sections going across, and you would have put each term of the first binomial on the side, and then you would have put each term of the second binomial on top, and then you would have just multiplied like the old-fashioned multiplication tables. So x times x is x squared, 1 times x is just x times negative 2 is negative 2x, and 1 times negative 2 is negative 2. Okay, and then what you would have done is you would have just combined like terms, and you would have seen that there's like terms right here and right there, right? So when you write the answer, it would have been x squared. Negative 2x plus 1x is minus 1, so minus x minus 2. And that is a completely accurate way to solve a problem like this. However, some of us get fed up drawing the boxes all the time. And for those of us that feel that way, I've got a new way for you to do it. And the new way to do it is referred to as FOIL. If you've ever heard this. Let me get this down so you can kind of see it. FOIL. So the F refers to first. The O refers to outside. Well, I'm trying to write and it's not wanting to cooperate. Let me try it again. That's interesting. I don't know what's happening. Let's see if I can get it to go now. Outside. No. I'll be right back. Okay. Let's try this again. So, I said the other option you had was something called FOIL. F for first. O for outside. I for inside. And then L for last. So that's what FOIL stands for. First, outside, inside, and last. And what we mean by that is when you look at these binomials, each one has a first number. Let's do the first number. The first number would be that one and that one, or not number, but term. So you would multiply the first ones together. X times x equals x squared. Then you would want to do your outsides. Well, here's the outside and here's the outside. So you would multiply x times a negative 2, which would be negative 2x. Then you would do the insides. Well, here's an inside and there's an inside. I probably should have had a different color than pink. I'm sorry. So for inside, then you would go 1 times x, which just equals x. And then finally, your lasts would be this one and that one. So you'd have 1 times a negative 2, which is a negative 2. So now you would want to add all of these together. You would be looking for any like terms. Notice we have a like term here, and those are the same like terms we had when we were in the box. So we'd combine them, and you would end up with x squared minus x minus 2, which is the same thing we got when we used the box. Now, you are free to use either tool. You get to the same result. It's just whichever one you feel most comfortable with. Okay? So what I want you to try to do right now on your own is I want you to try to do number 2. Pause the video and then come back and check your answer. Okay, so here's your answer. Worked both ways, gets to the same answer, 5x squared plus 13x minus 6. Notice that in both of them, I multiplied 5x times x to get the 5x squared. I multiplied 5x times 3 to get the 15x. I multiplied negative 2 times x to get the negative 2x, and I multiplied negative 2 times 3 to get the negative 6. Then all I needed to do was look for like terms to combine. That was my 15x and my negative 2x. And you put it into one polynomial expression. If this is making sense to you, if you are solid with this, great, keep listening. If you are struggling and are confused with this and don't think you understand it, please pause the video right here, come back into that Zoom meeting and get some help from me. Okay? Okay, so hopefully by now you're feeling confident on multiplying those binomials. And no, we didn't do 3 through 5. You're not required to. That might be something that you worked with me individually on in a Zoom meeting, but I want to move on to factoring for you right now. So in factoring, it's moving the reverse of what we've just done. So instead of finding the binomial and multiplying to get the polynomial, we're going to start with the polynomial and find out what binomials multiply together to give us this. And this is just like the circle problems that you did earlier today. Okay, so remember by those, I mean this big circle with the x in it, where you're looking for two numbers that multiply to give you the top number, but add to give you the bottom number, okay? And so I'm going to show you where we find those numbers from this polynomial. Anytime you do this, you are going to look for this number right here, the one that doesn't have a variable that's at the end of the polynomial. That is the number that goes right here in the top of your circle problem. So for this one, we'd write a 16 right there. Then you're also going to look for this middle number right here, the one that has the x with it. Only you only want the coefficient, including its sign. And so that would go right down here on the bottom. And so we would write a -8 right in there. You don't put any of the x's in there or anything, okay? So ask yourself, what two numbers multiply to give us a positive 16 and add to give us a -8? Well, the answer is -4 and -4. What you now do with this is you take and you draw your parentheses for your binomials. You automatically put whatever variable was here as the first term in both parentheses, and then you put this number right here, and this number goes right there. So the numbers we'd write in there would be -4 and -4. Now, for most problems, this would be where you would stop. However, when you see a problem like this, where both binomials are exactly the same, this is where you would condense it down into just x minus 4 squared. Because if I'm squaring something, I'm multiplying something by itself. Okay, so now what I want you to do is I want you to pause the video and I want you to try to do number 7 with the same method and then come back and check your answer. All right, so what you're seeing here is the answer already completed. I color coordinated it the same so you knew exactly where I got the answers. So remember, we want to multiply to get that top number, and we find that top number right here, the 16. And we're looking to add to get the bottom number, and that bottom number is this coefficient right here, including the sign that's with it. 8 and 2 are the numbers that satisfy this circle problem, so they go into our binomials right here, and this is our complete and final answer. If you wanted to check it, all you would have had to do is use the box or the FOIL method to multiply this back out, and you'll get back to the polynomial. All right, let's try one more just to make sure you got it. Again, I'm going to kind of shortcut this now. Oh, there goes my Apple Pencil messing up again. There we go. So instead of drawing the big circle, all you have to do is just kind of put an X there. Remember, we're multiplying and adding. What are we multiplying to find this time? A -45. What are we adding to get? A -4. The numbers here are going to be a -9 and a +5. So therefore, we set up our parentheses for our two binomials. We start each one with an X, and then we just put these numbers right in with it. So we've got a -9 and a +5. There is your answer, nice and sweet. If this is making sense to you, you are ready to go on and do your practice assignment today. If this is not making sense to you, come on into the Zoom and let's make it make sense. All right? I love you guys. I hope you have a great day. I'll see you on, well, I'll see you via video on Friday. You will have an assignment then. And then I'll see you in person next Monday. Have a great day.